Yeah, I guess Eric is the one now. Okay, great.
All right, guys. I think so far we are almost complete. So, and since we are already a little over time, I would suggest that we start now, and maybe Eric will join later.
Okay.
Can you all hear me well?
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just kick it off as a welcome note. So yeah, good morning or good evening. We are really spread it over the world right now. So in some parts it's dark, in some parts the sun is rising. So it's a pretty colorful group here. And I really appreciate that you all could make it, even if we had some trouble here at the beginning with the technique. But we needed to change the meeting room because we had some audio issues. In the other one, we couldn't configure the audio settings. So that's why. We apologize for that. And next time we are hopefully more, let's say, familiar with the technique. Yeah, we thought it's a good time to invite you all to have this kind of dialogue, to get the first feedback, as well to discuss some ideas, especially strategic steps, design steps we are taking or we are about to take. But as we have learned here all in Silicon Valley, that you should nothing do without your customers. And so we thought it's a good idea to invite you guys, since you are really the first one who have used UFOstart and have some experience. We know that there are many things still not working well, and many features missing, or things are confusing. But we try to, let's say, listen to your feedback, and that's why we have invited you today to give us a very short summary about your experience so far, any ideas you have, or any suggestions, and we as well want to present you with the next step we are going to see how do you like it, or maybe not, and then we can change it. Yeah, I would say that's the purpose of the meeting today, and I want to hand over to our first guest speaker. I think it's Angie. Is it right, Anna? Here we go. Angie, it's your mic.
Okay, so starting. So hi everyone. Yeah, I'm the founder of Capsule. So basically what we provide to our clients is a crowdsourced platform for the search engines, marketing and social media marketing campaigns. So we are quite up to date on the crowdsourcing and the crowdfunding area. So that was a really good experience to start on UFOstart the first round, and we aim to do another one. So here are the few things I listed regarding my own experience running this first round. So it started in May, I think, and so we had the first quite a month to prepare everything, to on our side figure out what was our needs and what we would like to gain and to obtain from the platform. So the first one for us was to get feedback from the followers and fans on the product, so to make them engage. I mean, because there is a lot of people, especially since we are a B2B company, we have people that following the company not for what it is or what it sells, but actually for the founders, or just because we get featured on a blog or something like that. And what we wanted is to have public to follow the steps and to give us feedback. And we think using the platform on Facebook was a good idea. Of course, finding early investors, mentors, and clients, so which is the need we had listed in the first round. Also, it was really interesting for us to to start using crowdfunding, because it's something that is really a buzzing word today, and nobody, I mean, not anyone can go on Kickstarter and start something, because Kickstarter is made actually for projects that are more B2C and that are more maybe with objects or something materials, and for services and for B2B services it's more difficult to access those crowdfunding. But we really like the way to engage the crowd into the funding of a company. But yeah, from that, why we started.
Stefan, could you mute please? It's the second button at the top, the green one.
It's okay. Okay, so just for the learnings regarding this first round, I think what was hard for us on our side and even on the platform was to set up the goals. So we would like to make a lot of goals and to list them very carefully and detail them. But I think we should have focus on a smaller round with fewer steps or fewer goals. So it would have make it easier first for us to manage, and also for people who want to join to commit to those goals. And also what we have seen is that on Facebook people are less likely to share their profile, because they use it for friends and family usually, for personal purpose. And whenever it comes to professional stuff, they usually don't want too much to associate both sides. So we have seen a lot of, for example, for our attorney and accountant, that we want them to engage into the campaigns. They have to set up new Facebook profile, which is actually not good at all, because we using the social graph and using the Facebook data is much better to such an experience. So I think this was one of the things that didn't work well with us. And so for the next round that we are looking to do this month, so we will go after more angel and advisors first, and advisors in legal aspect, accounting, designing, etc. So because we have seen that it's really, I mean, it's easier to get people advice and hours of advice than having, like, for example, material stuff, which is kind of hard to translate like 3 pieces into how much equity. So right now we would like to make a smaller round, maybe with less goals, but oriented on that, so we can close it faster, and also we can execute faster and report faster to the community. Because what I think is really good to use a UFOstart as a public roadmap. So we set up goals, and yeah, we have like 1 month to have this goal, I mean, this needs field, and we have like 2 months to achieve the goals that we say we will be achieving. So I think it's a good way to use UFOstart on as a public roadmap, so anyone in the community know where we go, what we want to do, and then we can report really fast if the round are smaller. So yeah, that's my point for now. So I will have also some feedback on the features, but from our perspective and our experience, this is it.
Okay, very good, Angie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So especially regarding the Facebook issue. So if I got it right, you mentioned that the friends or the people you want to invite to back your project or to join your project, they wouldn't mix the private things with the professional things. Is that right? And they
yeah.
really want to set up a different Facebook account? That sounds strange.
Yeah. There is two person that did that, and actually one of them even didn't manage to commit before the end of the round. But still, yeah, I think it's. I mean, Facebook is too for some people, and especially I would say in Europe, Facebook is maybe too much seen as a big brother stuff, going everywhere, etc. And so what people don't want to have is that yeah, seeing their family associated with their work, or seeing their, I don't know, their parties pictures associated with their work, or this kind of thing. And yeah, I think this, yeah, it depends on the people, it depends on the population we are targeting, but especially when we are looking at maybe young people, maybe they want mix up stuff, and then yeah, so it's a matter of
What
person.
type of people are these? Are that lawyers or?
Yeah, so the two guys was one lawyer and one accountant, so they are not young at all, but I mean they're from France. They have been living 20 years in the valley in San Francisco. But yeah, I think it's a matter of just they don't want to be disturbed. I think, yeah, I discuss with them and they say, yeah, so Facebook is my private sphere, and when I'm on it, I don't want to hear anything about the work. And even if they are committing to the startup as like not a hobby, but something that they believe in, and that they want to commit not only for their work and not only for the money, but for the adventure, they will see it as work because they have a need that we suggest to them, and so they will see the update from the startup, etc. So I think it's more a matter of, yeah, I have the work on one side and I have my personal life on the other, and I don't want to mix that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it's evolving. I think people will change this mind soon, but yeah, it's something we have seen.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So up next.
Alrighty. So I think next. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Anna.
Next is your sports. Chris, would you like to start?
Yes, Thomas. I actually just updated the deck. Is there any way we can get that version up?
Yep.
Thanks for cropping out my mom in that photo. That was a picture of me and my mother, and Thomas cut her out. It would have looked better if she was in it, Thomas.
Your mother is not on the call, so don't worry.
Yeah, she doesn't have internet. That's us. Okay, so my name is Chris McCoy. I'm the founder at YourSports.com. Our whole belief is that I think that there's a major hole in the sort of overarching social graph in its sports. It's the relationships a sports fan has to the teams that they're a passionate fan of, the games they've played in, the trophies they've won, the countries that they root for and against, the teammates, all those things. Those relationships aren't online yet, and once they are, it creates a new communications network that we think can become the next ESPN. So we've built out a pretty robust kind of what I call minimum viable platform around sports, and we've opened it up to a small group of users. We're about to open up to a new group, and our distribution strategy outside of just normal virality within a web service is we're going after like NFL quarterbacks and writers for sites like ESPN.com to create content on the platform and then cross-post it into Twitter, into Facebook, so that they can get this, and then back on our site they can sell an ad next to their name, basically, so they can monetize their Facebook and Twitter followings through Your Sports, and then they can build up their network on our site. So we're in really good discussions with folks. We haven't nailed anybody yet, but we're talking with people with 100 to 500,000 followers, and if we can land just one of them, it becomes a really powerful distribution proposition for us. So that's our company. Move on to the next slide, Thomas. Yeah, so our goals on the first round are valuation of 135,000, 66,000 of that was actually financing, and then I wanted to test our ability to actually get partners on board. We have a few people that are going to leverage our API, and they already are actually. It's kind of a hidden API, and I wanted to get them in the platform. And so trying to fill out all categories, which has been some of the mental Thomas and I talk quite a lot about just the vision of UFO and the packaging of just each sort of asset class within a startup company, and it's challenged me to think about how startups are financed and funded. And so I've had challenges trying to understand that myself, but after talking with Thomas and studying the documentation deeper, I've understood it. And sort of difficulties that we've come across have just been early adopters on the platform, obviously version 1, bugs, and just communication not working alongside Thomas. So, distributed communication takes a lot of work. But the nice thing is the product team on the UFO side has been really responsive, and Thomas is, we've had some spirited discussions around the platform and kind of my feedback on where I think it should go. And one big challenge we have had is we lost one of our investors, not their money, but their desire to be on the platform, because it forced them to uninstall and reinstall the app. And I was pretty upset with them for how they handled it, but they chose not to associate themselves with our profile, and that was kind of a big blow. But I'll figure out a way to work around that. But so difficulties has just been version 1 of the product is just version 1, and so I get it, and not everyone else does. My recommendations, are really, and I think the previous gentleman kind of sort of talked about this, is, just the ability to somewhat be anonymous, to not necessarily use your Facebook profile to associate with the company, I think is a powerful feature. If you're going to stay inside the Facebook platform, I think if you're going to stay inside the Facebook platform, the ability to tag email addresses outside of Facebook to sort of build viral channel that doesn't leverage your friends list. I've had to become friends with a few of the people that I'm not friends with just to get them to invite them in. I think we have 7 people on our product now, or on associated with UFOstart on UFO. And then I think just Thomas and I have talked a lot about just form design. I think that if the form is designed correctly, then you'll get the right information and can even pre-populate some of the other challenging areas. And my biggest recommendation for the product is just build your own platform, your own marketplace, and then from there, deeply leverage inside of Facebook as an application, but create your own social identity system around finance, similar to what AngelList has done. I think that there's an opportunity to do that better for the vision that you're bringing to the market. And then what's next for us is we have to finish the video, and we got covered in TechCrunch a couple of weeks ago, and ever since it's been just nonstop. So the video's been a lot harder to produce than I ever imagined. It's a really big undertaking. So haven't finalized the production on that. Should do that here in the next day or so. And then the final thing is, did my screen go away?
Yeah, it's skipped over to item base.
Yeah, okay. It's really, we will close this round, and I want to leverage a few other investors to get them in on it, and then raise another. So we'll go after a convertible note round on the platform. So that's us.
Well, thanks, Chris. There's once again a question from my side regarding your recommendations. It's about the ability to tag via email address. Do you mean instead of signing up with Facebook, or in addition of having your Facebook account or signing in with your Facebook account, you wanna also communicate via email or instead of using your Facebook account?
Well, I think that the challenge is you can only write to your friends list on Facebook, so I can actually only send invitations to people that I'm friends with. But a lot of people that invested in my company or partners I'm not friends with them, and some of them even aren't on Facebook. And so living inside the ecosystem makes your invitation list really limited. And if you build outside of Facebook, you can then write into it. You can write in Twitter as well. I think that you can make an argument that Twitter is just as good as a diffusion network as Facebook is for this use case for investors and whatnot. But I just think that there's inherent limitations within the speciality of the investor sort of entrepreneur relationships as it relates to Facebook. And the only true way to design around those relationships is to have your own environment that you can model sociology how you see fit. So that's my, I get the viral lift, but I think you can still get the viral lift in the diffusion that you're looking for outside of Facebook, writing into Facebook. And so happy to talk about that offline more tactically. But
all right. Thanks, Chris, and as well, thanks for your passion. I mean, yeah, you had a lot of bugs to survive and to report to us. Yeah, thanks again for that pain.
No, I said I'm a really big believer in the vision that you guys are bringing to the market. I think that it's executed the right way. I think it scales, no question. It's a huge pain for the industry of innovation to decentralize sort of the creation of a startup company, but it's a user experience. You gotta get the user experience right. I think the product is really important. So next version of the platform, I think that looking forward to being a part of that.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So
next one is item-based. Stefan, I'm not sure actually if this is the right picture of you.
I think I grew my hair a little bit since then, right? So yeah, no, but it's fine. It's a little old, but that's fine. I'll just start out with telling a little bit about what we do with item-based. So we're basically an online shopping manager for end consumers. So if you buy anything online, you can automatically track that with item-based. So you build up your kind of inventory list of the things that you buy, and we then keep track of your warranties, your receipts. We aggregate your manuals for you. We keep track of the other people owning the same product. So whenever you have a problem with the product, you can talk to other product owners or get in touch with the seller directly. And finally, we also keep track of the re-commerce value of the product. So let's say you have bought an iPhone 4. We would tell you that it's maybe still worth $150 or $200, and you can sell that with one click and get cash in your hands, either via one of our re-commerce partners or even post it onto eBay. So yeah, that's basically what the item base is for the end consumer. We also integrate with shops to basically let shops offer our service to their end consumers on the checkout page. So therefore we're working together with a lot of shops, and that's also one of the goals for our round on UFOstart. So to talk a little bit about the goals for the first round is first of all, we want to raise a financing round. We want to get partners on board, so shops and distributors on board, mainly shops. Right now, we already have our first shops, of course, but we would like to get the key accounts on board via UFOstart. And then we want to get technical expertise basically in different areas, so developing shopping plugins for different shop systems and different kinds of technical things basically. So I think I can agree to some of that what was said before. Basically, first of all, the Facebook integration has been a little hard for us because I guess also because we're in Germany and people are very they find it very difficult to integrate with Facebook and to actually use the Facebook Connect. They're very privacy focused over here, and also some of the people that we wanted to invite were not even on Facebook, so we had to kind of make them create a Facebook account before we could actually invite them. So that regard has been a little bit hard. I definitely agree that we should be able to invite them via email, and I think actually if any network, then I think LinkedIn would actually be a better network to build upon as a main focus, because that is where I keep all of my professional contacts. Secondly, the whole onboarding process, I think, is basically critical, and that is basically seen from the side that everyone we invited got a Facebook notification, kind of. That is first of all a little bit hidden inside Facebook. Second of all, when they then go in there, they seem to miss the kind of point what it's about and why they're actually on the platform. So I think that onboarding process is very critical. I think also they should definitely get an invite via email that actually also describes a little bit about the platform, maybe even take some of the pitch of actually the company and puts it in that email also, so they can, before they actually go onto the platform, see what it's about and what the company is about and stuff like that. So I think the onboarding process is definitely very critical. And last point, I think, Thomas, we talked a little bit about this also, is that I think it would be very useful that you can kind of maybe hide the details of some of the needs that you have, and basically split it out in different areas. So if I have a need in financials, I don't necessarily want to show the exact details to maybe a coder that I'm getting on board for doing some technical stuff for us. So if that could kind of be split apart, so maybe the coder that gets on board, he can see that the other people coming on board to finance the company, but he can maybe not see the details. I think that would also be something that it would be beneficial, basically, to the platform. It would still make it open for everybody to see who is involved, but maybe not the details on each deal. Yeah, so I think that's more or less the feedback that I have.
Okay, so just to clarify the last point, would it help if, let's say, each need could have its own terms and conditions where you have details which are only visible to people who get an invite to the need or so?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you could show the need. I think you could show the need to everybody and say this is, and then maybe also show who agreed to do that need, but maybe don't show the details.
Okay. So only people who have applied for the need and get accepted see the details.
Yes, yes.
What do you mean by details? Details that you describe while creating the need, or do you mean with details, attached documents, and terms to join, or the financial terms, or what do you mean with details?
The details I describe for the need. So, for example, if I have a coder coming on board, I might not want to tell him exactly what details we are doing in a financing round, because it might be, yeah, in the end something that is not comprehensible.
Okay, so he can, but he could see that there are financial needs with the money, but
yes,
not a description.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. This way you still have the crowd there, and you can still, then he can see, okay, there are some cool investors maybe coming on board, but he can't see the exact details.
All right, Stefan. Any other questions to Stefan?
No, Stefan, I actually, that's a good idea. LinkedIn would be, a LinkedIn integration would be like very natural.
Yep.
I couldn't understand. Who was the phone caller?
Chris.
What? Sorry?
Yeah, I think Chris chimed in there.
Yeah, that was a comment from Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. My comment was I really think LinkedIn would be a good platform to build on top of, maybe in version 3. I think that would be a perfect use case. It's the employment network. The relationship.
Stefan, could you mute while you are not talking?
What's that? Say that again.
That's
Perfect. Now perfect. So, Chris, maybe now you could try again. Because I couldn't understand anything.
You can't understand anything?
Well, now we can. The background noise from Stefan was a little bit difficult, but.
Okay, yeah. No, I think LinkedIn is a great network to build on top of because of the nature of the relationships. It's an employment-based network. They have an API, and I think LinkedIn would support UFO in a way that Facebook wouldn't from a developer resource standpoint. UFO is like a perfect use case for what LinkedIn API is for. Might perhaps in the third version of the platform, LinkedIn gets integrated.
Alrighty. Thanks, Stefan, so far, as well Chris. And the next one, I think, is Eric. He made it finally onto the call. Sorry for the confusion, Eric. We had to change the room, but right on time. You are here online, on stage. Please, that's your turn.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Hearing you fine.
Cool. So I missed the last few ones, so I'll do my best to try and fit into the mold of how this is flowing. But anyway, so I'm the founder of Clayco, and we are building a crowdsourcing network for lessons. So right now we're looking at the U.S. K-12 system, as there's some new standards that are requiring teachers to rewrite their lessons, and we allow them to work together. So they save time building lessons, and at the end of the day, you have very high quality lessons that are being used in the classroom. And so right now we are, we're closing a total 300K round. 100K of that is still open, which we're going to be, we're planning on closing on UFOstart. For us, it's right now it's a very critical time of the company where we want to pull in, really good people that have expertise in, different areas like crowdsourcing and education, and so on and so forth. And so for us, we do need the money to move forward, but we also we need some really great advisors and mentors for us at the company to put the odds in our favor of succeeding. So as far as learnings go, I assume that's related to UFOstart itself. Okay, I guess it is related to UFOstart.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a question. So I think the big feedback I would have is it seems like on my end of things with like the guys I work with, having Facebook integration is turning out to be a big pain in the butt, just because I think I'm not sure that if everyone is comfortable with linking their Facebook in the startup, just because it's not necessarily your professional identity. And I heard this from the last group that spoke as well. LinkedIn probably would be a better network to push instead of Facebook. I would definitely agree with that, but I would also mention that I think a standalone product with optional integrations would probably be very ideal. I think you definitely want to incentivize people to get them to pull in their LinkedIn contacts. But I mean, if you look at products like AngelList, just by having a standalone network, I think it's you're creating a new online identity for these people, and I think that's really what UFOstart is. It's a new identity for ourselves, the startups we're working on, and as such, I'm not even sure if I think doing integrations with LinkedIn and with Facebook are good, but I'm in my opinion, it may be better just having it be separate with optional incentivized connections to those. Anyways, so there's that. The user interface isn't there are some things where I kind of got hung up, like adding, for random example, adding needs. The thing is at the bottom of the page, and it's not a big button. It's just kind of like a link. It's like things like that. Just some of the things are very well designed for on the whole. The site is, but there's just some random things like that is just it's not very straightforward. It doesn't even there's some cleanup that could be done on the UI, but like there are a lot of things that like if there was just an explanation or something that walked me through creating a project, like a getting started guide, it would have answered like all my questions. And Thomas, like I've come back to you like 3 or 4 times now with this thing. And I kept missing different parts because it wasn't immediately obvious on a lot of the pieces that how I would go and do that, and new idea structure, which is kind of like a different way of thinking about doing startups. And in order to do that, like for the common entrepreneur like myself, where I'm not familiar with, entirely familiar with the vision and down to the kind of granular level, it'd be very helpful on things like what we were talking about yesterday with compensating my engineers. Like what does it's a cool way of compensating them. It's not the typical, it's not what I would typically put on, a job application or something like that. So and feel free to ask me questions if these things are making sense. I'm trying to be all-encompassing with what I'm saying, but I think basically based on what I'm saying is I think bottom line, I think a getting started guide would be huge, and one that would really walk me through the program and explain the different pieces that are kind of new, like they're new ideas that you guys have come up with, and they're awesome. It's just like you have to convey that in a way that will be clear within a minute or two how that works. But anyways, but otherwise, I mean the platform's awesome. I mean give or take a few tweaks here and there. I mean I think it's fantastic. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers difficulties and feedback. And then our next steps, we're going and after we close this 100K, I mean, right now we're talking with VCs, and we're going to raise a large seed round, probably $1.5 million or something like that. And we're using that just to make us grow even faster. So we're going to be really investing in our marketing and engineering teams. And I can dive more into that if you guys want to hear it, but I'm sure we just want to stick to UFOstart for now.
Great. Thanks, Eric. Any questions, Eric?
So I guess questions. Yeah, are there any questions for me?
I had a question actually. You were talking about the compensation explanation. Were you looking for like an explanation of how the compensation works for yourself, or did you want an explanation which was more clear for people coming and applying for that need?
It's more of like, so when I was going and filling out the field, what I expected, like this is what I expected to do, is it would say salary and equity, right? And then I fill in a X $1,000 in salary and then X% on equity. And but what I ended up getting was, please tell me the value of an engineer at our company. And so then I had to go do the math on, okay, if I'm going to give 5% to, and I didn't realize this at first, and I just left it blank because I had no idea what to do. And so I had to talk to Thomas about it. And so he explained how it worked, and I had to do the math on, okay, what is the value? And it's a good way of like thinking about it. It's just not the common, it's like a lot of people look at these things as just like equity in the company. We're kind of looking at what's left in the pot and how much can we give out versus what is this person worth to an extent. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you think if there was something there which kind of like walked you through that process and kind of like, hey, here's how it works, here's how the numbers pan out, what works best for you, that would have been better than you going through and having to figure all that out on your own. If you just have to be able to make that decision without the back-end research as well, that'd be more helpful.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it really comes down to just saying, okay, so this is, hey, FYI, this is a kind of a different way of doing things. Think of like your equity in the company, how much that's worth, plus a salary, and that's how much this employee is worth, right? And like, or you know, something to kind of, you know, for that specific example, that would probably bring me up to speed. Like, okay, I get this. Whereas what I saw was like, you know, like 6 form fields, some of which were locked, and then it was like, what the heck is, you know, what do I put? You know, I put in the salary number, and then it's like, you know, the equity is in a percentage. It's like money. You know, I probably could have surmised what was going on if I had spent more time kind of drilling into it. But even then, there wasn't a clear like, okay, this is how it, you know, there wasn't a layman's terms for that piece of it.
Gotcha.
So that would, yeah, I mean, so and there's a lot of places on the site where that would be extremely useful. Like this is this, and blah blah blah. It does, you know, this is how it may differ from how you currently think, but it does this. And like, and again, all the things that I've had issues with like that, they've all been very good things. It's just my, you know, going in, that's just not what I immediately wanted to, or immediately expected to see.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. I think thanks, Eric. That was pretty detailed and good feedback, I think. And yeah, so don't waste time and switch over to Niels and Brandon. They want to give you, and guys, I think we need to shorten it a little up. Maybe you can focus on the most important things, because I don't want to run over time too much, because anybody has probably a schedule, and we will definitely repeat that session. Yeah, but we at least want to give you a sneak peek preview on what's coming next, and where we would like to see your feedback on that, and that's why I hand over to Brandon and Niels.
Yeah, sure. I can start. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, yeah, sure.
Now it's our birthday child talking.
Yeah, today's my birthday. I'm the handsome gentleman on the left-hand side, and I'm doing some of the design and stuff like that, and Niels is doing some of the coding. And yeah, Niels, do you want me to start, or you okay with that?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I just want to run through very quickly some of the stuff regarding just the each project's pitch page, as we like to call it. So yeah, you could go to the next slide. Okay, cool. So we thought about developing kind of a new system where the messages are divided into messages and applications, so that way you could easily see, hey, I have a new message, I have a new application pending, kind of easy to break up the two and see what's going on. Also give you a bigger section for media, so you can see the project's pictures and videos, have it start with a video, and have a lot of room there for, you know, just seeing what's going on with your project. Also, I know that Chris and Stefan and Eric all said that, you know, the whole Facebook integration they're not too crazy about for different reasons, but we do have more room on the bottom, or we're going to have more room to see all the friends that you have involved in the project. So that's a big thing that we want to focus on right now is you know, this whole social networks, and whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, there is going to be a better invitation system, but there's definitely a lot of kinks to work out there. But yeah, there's some of the things just on this, just the pitch section right here. You could go to the next slide for some of the new features on the needs. So this is what you'll see on the new project page. So as you scroll down, and something that's not shown here that I think Eric mentioned, was that there's no obvious button to create needs. It was on the very, very bottom of the page, but now it's actually positioned right after each category. So whether it's an asset or a job or a funding need, there's a button right afterwards saying create a need. And then right after that, you will see you know, just the need title, a brief description. On the right-hand side, very large, the compensation, equity, and everything, kind of like a quick breakdown. And under that, discussion and applicants. so you get a quick glimpse of everything that's going on with the project. Yeah, you could go to the next slide. And so once you click through to that, you get to the need page, where again you can see everything very clearly on the right-hand side. You get a useful, quick bulleted list on the right-hand side of everything, everything that's going on, and you can just click apply, and it opens up the application box underneath. The invite process is right above that, and like I said, you can invite your LinkedIn friends and your Twitter and Facebook and everything. But yeah, I think that mostly covers everything. I think I have another slide after this actually that might cover a little bit more. Yeah, so this is kind of upcoming. This isn't what we have on staging right now, but we have this some of this planned in the future, where we'll have a new company section to have further information about your company, like a longer bio and more information, history and such, everything like that. And on the pitch page itself, you'll have the last update on Facebook that was made, the next event, markets, everything like that. You'll have more pictures. You can see more of your friends that are involved in the project, so you know exactly which section you want to go to, or if you're even interested, depending on if you have friends involved or not. And yeah, I think that covers most of it. We are working on, Eric, you did mention that some of the onboarding process is a little bit annoying or hard to understand, and we are working on a better one, and we're working on a better vocabulary, and like you said, layman's terms we need to put things into, and yeah, I totally agree, and we are working on doing that now as well, but I don't have them all included in this because I didn't want to drag on the meeting, but yeah, so if you want to talk about that, I'm sure that we can. But I think that's all the slides that I put in.
Yeah, I also think so. So then I would like to continue and talk a little bit, only 3 slides about stuff that's more behind the scenes and where we are improving. First thing, we did work on the on some performance issues. One side, the data import from Facebook or LinkedIn, from the social networks, to get the data. This was kind of slow in some cases, so we improved that. And also we are working on the page load times and getting the contents delivered to the users. And already had quite some progress there, but we keep an eye on that and trying to improve here. So I think that's easy to understand, and let's go on. The next thing has been addressed, I think, by all of you, the problem with the invitations. That, this wasn't working very well, and we want to make it really hassle-free. So what we're going to do is illustrate it here, that the project owner, the only thing that he has to do is share an URL in any way he wants. You can do it via email, you can do it via Facebook message, whatever. You could do it via snail mail if you prefer to do so. And whoever gets the URL just has to click this one, open it, and gets directly to the item that he has been invited to, and then can join the thing easily there. At the moment, he still has to have a Facebook account. We have to see how we deal with that from the feedback you gave today. But at least sending the invitations is much more easier, and this way you also wouldn't have to have someone you want to invite as a friend. So, and one final thing I want to show is that we want to leverage the data we can actually get from the social networks in a better way, and that you can put companies and people you deal with on the platform into their social context, and you get some data for them, like the skills they have on LinkedIn and how they're connected to different companies and other people when they did work there, and so on. That you get really a benefit out of the integration of the social networks and the data we can get from that. So, but this is more or less upcoming. We have started putting this in the preview app, but we keep working on this. So that's it. That's the 3 slides I had, and yeah, I'm happy to get your feedback or questions you would like to have, whether to Brandon or to me.
Yeah, maybe just a general remark on that. So we will post all of the stuff on GetSatisfaction. We will share the link later on. So you have time to go over it and give us feedback as well on GetSatisfaction. As well, we will, let's say, discuss new features coming up on GetSatisfaction in the future, that we can have a kind of a voting system to ask you about feedback, which feature you really would like to see, and what we should change in the future.
That's a good idea.
But feel free to have questions right now. So that's a chance to talk to designers and the project managers.
30 seconds.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions about the design-related stuff, I didn't want to drag the call on, and I don't know if anyone has to go or anything. But yeah, feel free to just send them to Thomas or Jens or myself, or just ask now, I guess.
All right. Otherwise, let's have the next slide.
Okay, then.
Okay, so also something from me to say about future strategy and some functions we want to integrate into the platform, and that are some of our ideas, or that are the results of the talks with you guys and with your input. And so I want to mention 4 different points. So we are working on a better onboarding process. Onboarding process means not only how you can set up. So you also mentioned that, okay, you need a Facebook account, how you can invite people, and how I will get on board. You as the project, how you will join the platform, how you can create the project, how we can help you while creating the project, and how we can help other people that you invited to get to the right point and yeah, to become a backer of your project. So that is a major point to make the onboarding process better understandable and yeah, maybe also shorter. The next thing is the collaborative need creation. That was a function we were thinking about at the very beginning, and then we put it on the back burner. And this is about creating, because at the moment, if you create a project, if you set up a project, then you have to create needs. And we also realized that sometimes it's not easy. What kind of needs I really need for the next round? How do I have to describe this? Because you want to have a mobile prototype, but you're not an expert to describe what to do to create a mobile prototype. That's why we are also thinking about to relaunch or to re-implement the collaborative work on need creation, and we want to allow, or we think about, to allow not only the founders to create needs, but also to make offers or suggestions by potential backers or by the people are involved into the project. So if they see, if you invited an investor, you can, or the investor could say, okay, I would suggest that you should make this and this, and he could create a need that you will finally confirm on, or maybe you are working together on these needs, or you are inviting potential developers, and the developers can create the need, what has to be done to get a mobile prototype or whatever. So that is a feature we are thinking about to re-enable it. We put it originally on the back burner because it made the process more complex to create needs, because who can suggest something, when is the need really confirmed, when others can apply to the need. So it would make it a bit more complex, but it was also feedback from some projects that they would like to involve the others, the people that they invited to the project, to work together with them on the needs, on the need creation. one feature we are thinking about. Then, based on the last slide that Nils explained, so we have a lot of information from the other social networks, skills companies, and whatever. And we are working on a search function where you can have or where you can search for people that are appropriate for a special need. But the next thing should be an active matching, so that the system will automatically search for relevant backers or for relevant people that could contribute something to that need what you are seeing right now. And you are in a special context, and the system will help you and will suggest people that are that have skills in that field or have already worked for other companies in that field or whatever. So we want to do this automatic matching, and we definitely want to do this. And another function, that's the last one we are also thinking about, is if it would help you that our system would automatically invite these people that could contribute something to your project or to a special need. Maybe not only the people you are friend with, maybe, but also friend of friends. But the concerns we are thinking about are: is it spam or is it not spam? Would it really help? Do you want to have people that you are not friends with in your project? Should we automatically invite them if the system detects, okay, he probably could contribute something to your project or to a special need? So there are some functions we want to build on top of the information and functionalities we already have in our system. So 2 are with question marks, and especially for these 2 functionalities, we want to have your feedback and how we should or if we should implement these functions.
All right.
That was from my side at the moment. So you could ask questions right now, or maybe also later on GetSatisfaction.
Okay, guys, and even if we have a few more slides, actually I think I will wrap it up. Anna, please give me the next slide. I will just use this one. In regards of our strategic direction, I think you know and you have heard the vision we are working on. It's basically that we try to really reinvent the way how startups get funding and how startups can execute based on the idea of the lean startup model and leveraging the power of the crowd and crowdsourcing, etc., etc. I don't want to dive in that too much right now. So we, as we described, we are working on a better onboarding process to, of course, explain and educate people on that new vision, because we definitely see this is a challenge, that this is part of education, and we try to organize things in a different way than it is organized today. So it is, of course, not easy, but we are committed to that, we are working on it, and we try to improve it. So as well, that we think the value proposition, especially for startups, which is the audience right now, is quite powerful to give you more power in terms of let's say independent, especially in front of investors, because you have alternative ways to fund your startup and make progress on your ideas. So we think the value proposition is worth that we can think about implementing a business model in the future. Right now, it's just an investment case for us where we see we want to organize our deals and want to make investment decisions for startups we want to put money in, just with a platform to provide value, to make smart decisions, and to especially engage and involve our network of people we have worked together in the past to contribute something to the startups we invest in. But as you know, we are working on a big vision to make the whole process really scalable, meaning we are talking about investments into startups in substantial numbers. So the number which we have, I think, announced a few months back was that we want to close about 10,000 deals in the next 10 years. So that means the whole system needs to be very scalable, very self-explaining. So this is a way to go. We are aware of that. But that's why we are working on an onboarding process. We are designing, creating a landing page right now where we try to explain the value proposition to startups. And to do that, we also think about a business model which we have prepared, which we would like to also get some feedback from you guys if you think this is value for startups in your situation, where you also would accept to pay some money for and to offer some equity to use this kind of new ecosystem. So I don't want to go into details because we are really over time now, but we will publish the rest of the slides also on GetSatisfaction so that you can give us some feedback maybe there or just in our next conversations when we meet each other. So we really would appreciate to get also some feedback on this from you. So far, I think this is it for now. If there are any questions right now, of course, we would like to answer them. But if not, I just want to close it up. Thank you all to make it here, and even if we had some struggles and we are a bit over time, yeah, but feel free now to jump out. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, thanks for making it, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Great feedback on the call today.
Thank you.
Enjoyed the
Yeah, thank you very much for the feedback. Thanks,
All right.
Thank you.
Good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Anna, bist du noch da? Anna, can you hear me?
I'm just going to be creepy.
Anna, before you end the meeting, please save the chat because there was some feedback in which we haven't saved yet.
So the session is being recorded.
Okay.
It's at the end of the, so maybe it will.
I'm not sure about the feedback actually on the chat.
Yeah, well, I'm scrolling through chat right now. It looks like people were just like chiming in saying, hey, that's a good point, and I second and third that, but it's more based on what they were talking about on the call. So
Yeah, it's kind of ambiguous. You don't know what they're talking.
Yeah, but the recording will be helpful, though. Eric's feedback, I think, was really good. And as Eric was talking, you can see Chris chiming in, Eric chimed in,